located on the northern coast of Orange County, California, is a city for shopping lovers with beachfront shopping on one end and then European-style shopping centers on the other. It's also a city where part of the Saturn V rocket was built that brought the Apollo astronauts to successfully land on the moon, and is today very popular for its surfing culture, along with having the world's largest surf competition. It's the same city with a few Guinness World Records, including the world's largest surfboard and most people riding a surfboard at once. It's all located in the surfing city of Huntington Beach, California, also known as Surf City, USA. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Kris. If this is your first video you're ever watching on my channel, so feel free to click on that subscribe button. This is my introduction video about Huntington Beach, where I'll be telling you all what the city is about, mentioning a few of the nearby cities, and then the pier area towards the end, right after showing you all some more footage first. So Huntington Beach is roughly an hour south from downtown Los Angeles. The city has 8.5 miles of beautiful coastline with different beaches, but the main one is Huntington City Beach that stretches for 3.5 miles. This is where you'll find the iconic concrete pier that's over 1,850 feet, with the restaurant being at the very end and a few at the very start. It's also the center of activities such as people playing beach volleyball, renting a bike and riding on the bike path, and of course it's a popular place for surfing. Huntington City Beach is also the area for many special events, such as the US Open of Surfing every summer and the Pacific Air Show every fall. Directly across the street is downtown that has luxury hotels facing the beach. The two main areas for shopping and dining are Main Street and the Pacific City Mall, which both include waterfront dining with good views of the pier. Talking a little more about Main Street, it's a place to see car shows on selected days and the weekly farmers market every Tuesday night. You'll find all kinds of surf shops, a surfing walk of fame, the Duke Kahanamoko statue, and then the International Surf Museum that has the world's largest surfboard. There's also many nightlife spots, many places to get dessert, and many historical buildings, including the first jail cells from 1914. The city then stretches over 6 miles inland with many more shopping areas and all kinds of different parks. The shopping attractions at the very end are the German-style Old World Village that has an arts and crafts market a lot on Sundays, the Wiener Dog races once a month, and the Oktoberfest once a year. Then across the street is the Bella Terra, which means beautiful earth in Italian. There's fountains all over the place and a good-sized lawn in the center that has live music almost every weekend. You'll find a lot more of the popular restaurants and popular shopping companies. Then located in the heart of the city is Central Park that includes walking trails and a few different gardens. There's one area with coastal redwood trees which are known to be the tallest trees in the world, and also an equestrian center that has almost 400 horses. Central Park is big enough to have a few different lakes with a restaurant in front of one of them. The park is also big enough to have other kinds of special events, such as the annual Civil War Days history event every Labor Day weekend to reenact battles. Then just a short drive away is the Victorian-style Newland House, which was built in 1898 and is now used by the Huntington Beach Historical Society to host tours on selected weekends. Located on the north side of the city is the Huntington Harbor that's made of 5 islands full of multi-million-dollar homes, with many of them having all kinds of yachts. The waterways are big enough to bring people kayaking, paddleboarding, and other recreational boating. There's even a few small beaches that are family friendly, and also a marina walkway with restaurants that offer more waterfront dining. Then directly in front of it all is the community of Sunset Beach that has roughly 1.5 miles of coastline where you can spot many kiteboarders and watch a nice sunset. The area also features the iconic water tower with a 75,000-gallon redwood tank that once held around 300 tons of water and has now been converted into a weekly rental home, which makes it the second tallest residence in the entire country, standing at 87 feet tall. Separating the beach and the harbor is Pacific Coast Highway, where you'll find more options for dining, shopping, and a few of the smaller hotels. Below the harbor are the BolsaChica wetlands that offer over 4 miles of walking trails and a place for bird watching from having over a few hundred different species. Then across from the wetlands is the BolsaChica State Beach that's popular for bonfires from having over 200 fire pits. You'll also find a good-sized RV encampment, lots of people riding on the bike path, and more quick places to get food. Then in between BolsaChica and the pier is a dog beach that stretches for a little over 1 mile. Before talking about the nearby cities and the pier, I want to briefly talk about the city's history. Huntington Beach was incorporated in 1909 and named after Henry Huntington, who was a railroad magnate that brought and connected the Pacific Electric Railway to the city in 1904. Henry then invited a man named George Freeth in 1914 to give a surfing demonstration during the opening day of the new concrete pier, which made George the first surfer in the city. A little over a decade later, in 1925, Duke Hanamoko made his first visit to Huntington Beach and shares the credit with George on popularizing the sport around Southern California. Huntington Beach grew in population immediately after oil was discovered in 1920. Fast forwarding to the 1950s, the city experienced another population surge, but also had surf shops opening all along Main Street, as well as the annual surfing contest beginning in 1959, which is known today as the US Open of Surfing. Huntington Beach then earned its nickname Surf City in the 1960s from a hit song with the same title, but it wouldn't be until 1991 that the city was officially recognized as Surf City USA. So after seeing enough in Huntington Beach, there's so much to do in the nearby cities. Immediately south is the city of Newport Beach that's known for its big harbor full of many different boats and includes 7 different islands. It also features the Balboa Peninsula that's long enough to have 2 different piers, along with many fun places to walk around, including the very popular Balboa Village. There's also many more opportunities on Pacific Coast Highway before reaching the next city of Laguna Beach, which has over 7 miles of coastline that includes all kinds of coastal walks, all kinds of small parks, and all kinds of small beaches. One of the main attractions is Main Beach, where you'll find plenty of people walking around and playing sports. There's many opportunities all over the city for shopping and dining, but there's also many art galleries and public art that makes Laguna unique. Now going north of Huntington Beach is the last city in Orange County known as Seal Beach, which has 1.5 miles of coastline. There's also a pier that stretches 1,865 feet, which makes it the second longest wooden pier in California. It also has an Old Town area that stretches for a few blocks full of shops and restaurants, along with a red car exhibit from the Pacific Electric Railway. After Seal Beach is the city of Long Beach, which is the first city entering Los Angeles County. A few fun places to walk around are the colorful Shoreline Village, the historic downtown area, and the lively neighborhood of Belmont Shores. I also want to suggest visiting the famous Queen Mary Hotel, which transported soldiers across the Atlantic Ocean during World War II and is a well-known attraction today for paranormal activity. Now talking about the pier area more specifically, Huntington Beach had its very first pier made out of wood and was built in 1904. It was then destroyed and then rebuilt as a concrete pier in 1914. Not only has the pier been damaged and rebuilt multiple times throughout the decades, but it was also used by the US Navy during World War II to look out for submarines. The pier is now over 1,850 feet and has been in its current condition since it was last rebuilt in 1992. The pier offers amazing views of the coastline as well as being up close to all of the surfers, and you'll find lots of people fishing. There's also 2 stores, with one of them having souvenirs and then another that sells all kinds of unique looking kites. At the very end of the pier is a restaurant called the Broad Oyster Company that offers panoramic ocean views and even has an upstairs. As for food, I really enjoy their lobster roll along with their bacon avocado cheeseburger. Located at the start of the pier are another 2 restaurants on top of each other. The one on top is Duke's, which is Hawaiian themed and named after the legendary surfer Duke Kahanamoku, who was from Hawaii. You'll find lots of photos that honor him and tables with views of the pier. Their fish tacos are very popular, and I really enjoy their hula pie for dessert. They're also open for brunch on weekends, where I really enjoy the coconut crusted French toast, and I also suggest their breakfast burrito. The restaurant right below with similar views is Sandy's Beach Shack that has a good sized bar along with a great outside area with a fire pit lit up in the evening. I suggest both the surfer sandwich and the swordfish tacos with avocado along with their mud pie for dessert. Also at the start of the pier is the Pier Plaza area that has a small artisan fair on selected weekends where you can find all kinds of pictures, paintings, jewelry, clothes, and other arts and crafts. I found one tent full of decorated starfish and then another that had chairs made out of surfboards. Below there is a good-sized lawn to relax and people watch with a nice mural in the corner. You'll also find a store called Zach's that has bikes, scooters, and surfboards to rent with lots of clothes and souvenirs inside, and it's also a place where you can grab some food. If you decide to rent a bike and go north for a few miles, the Daw Beach will be your first stop. And if you go south for about a mile, you'll come across Huntington State Beach, where you'll find more people playing sports, more people surfing, and more fire pits used for bonfires. Across the street from one of the entrances are 2 more marshes and a pretty colorful power plant that's hard to miss. Now talking more about special events, I was fortunate enough to attend the annual US Open of Surfing. Every year during the end of July and the first week in August, the city attracts surfers and surfing fans from having the world's largest surf competition. The beach is very crowded with the stands being right behind them, but you can watch the event from the multiple TV stands that are scattered around. I found people playing all kinds of games, a pretty cool sand sign, and some surf history near the visitors center. There was a stage that featured live music and was surrounded by food trucks and tents selling all kinds of merchandise. There was also a beer tent that had a DJ playing with a small sitting area to watch the surfers and lots of places to sit outside. Then across the street in downtown there was a big autograph signing event. In general, the event is completely free to enter, but the main thing I would be concerned about is both the parking and the traffic getting there. I also attended the Pacific Air Show in late September, which took place for 3 days, with each day lasting for 6 hours. There were all kinds of different planes, including different kinds of helicopters flying above and around the pier. There's also lots of military and high-tech stands in the Pier Plaza area, along with a few food trucks. It's completely free, but if you want some of the best views, you have to pay to get into a certain area, with the price ranging from general admission to more luxury seating, including a seating area on the pier. There was also the Surf Days weekend event in early September, with the beach having more surfing contests and volleyball tournaments. There was also the He Nalu Aloha Festival, which lasted 2 days and was full of Pacific Island culture with all kinds of dancing and music. Then there was a car show in downtown full of different Volkswagen buses that lined all along Main Street. This is the end for my first video about Huntington Beach. In my next one, I'll be talking all about the downtown area, including where to stay, where to eat, and so much more. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for video number 2 coming soon.